celebration of our Independence Day. We're going to get this party started. We're going to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance with our color guard from Boy Scout Troop 551. Please stand.
Color guard. Halt. Post the colors. Please salute. Those non-uniform, please place your hand over your heart. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we're going to have Hiram come up and bring us in with the Star Spangled Banner.
Woo! Color guard. Yeah, Hiram. Face.
Thank you. And I believe we're going to have Chris Singh come up and bless this event for us, the invocation.
Please uncover if you can. Good morning, American. Almighty God, I ask for your blessing for our troops that's serving in foreign land. Oh God, please bless our troops who never made it home. Dear God, bless the troops that are here today. Oh God, we ask for your blessing for this occasion today of these proud Americans. And thank you, God. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right, and we're also very pleased to have Diane Grievous here with us. She is going to share her wonderful voice of God Bless America. Thank you.
I think this is called a solo. Solo, you can't hear me. It's an honor to be here. Thank you very much, Mayor Tim, for inviting me to share in this day. So God bless you all. You could all be seated. If tomorrow all the things were gone I worked for all my life, I had to start again with just my family, a new life. I thank the Lord above to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. I'll gladly stand up next to you. I'll defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York and LA, there's pride in every American heart. It's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. I'll gladly stand up next to you. I'll defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. I'll gladly stand up next to you. I'll defend her still today. There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the Thank you. God bless you.
All right. Rest.
Dana, yeah, we. All right, we're gonna have Diane come back up and share with us a poem, My Patriot Son. Thank you.
Thank you. I wrote this song, this piece back in 2003 when I was taking my little boy to his gymnastics class, and I noticed the receptionist behind the counter was crying, and I asked her what was wrong, and she had just sent her son to Afghanistan that day, and he was 18 years old. And that very night when I put my 5-year-old to bed, I started to cry as I closed the door, because I realized that my friend had sent her 5-year-old, in her eyes, off to war. And I couldn't sleep, and I sat down at the computer, and this piece of poetry just poured out of me. So while I do not have a child who went to fight for our freedom, there are thousands and tens of thousands of moms who have sent their children, and I think we forget that. So I want to share this with you, and it's being released on iTunes this month as a fundraiser for the Young Marines program. So you're the first ones to actually hear it officially. So thank you again for allowing me to be here. As he marches off to war, he turns with glowing pride. I recall my tiny boy, his first steps at Mama's side. Back then, I could hold his hand and guide him every day. Now off to battle I send him, praying God's protection along the way. Father in heaven, he's my only son. He's still my little boy. It's so we all might be free, Mom, he proclaimed with patriotic joy. He's such a babe in Mama's eyes, camouflaged for trick-or-treat. This gun, it's just a child's toy for playing in the street. This time it's not a game. He's grown up overnight. He prepared for war and now is sent far away to fight. No longer my tiny boy in arms with teddy bear and rattle. With a kiss goodbye and a tender hug, he marches off to battle. Father in heaven, he's my only son. He's still my little boy. It's so we all might be free, Mom, he proclaimed with patriotic joy. It's such a sacrifice to make. Oh, where to find the strength to wake each day and carry on when I can scarcely take a breath. I look to a mom from long ago who watched her precious son be marched to a hill and crucified. This never could I have done. Now I've sent my son for you to march for freedom pride, when in my heart I long to have him just playing by my side. Father in heaven, he's my only son. He's still my little boy. It's so we all might be free, Mom, he proclaimed with patriotic joy. Tonight I stand outside your room, and with a longing gaze, I recall your tiny hands in prayer as we kneel and offer praise. Now I lay me down to sleep, with innocence you'd pray. I'd pray the Lord to guard and keep you each and every day. With a bear hug and a butterfly kiss, I would tuck you in so tight. I can't be strong, I can't go on. I miss you so tonight. Then in my heart, I heard your voice, my precious little boy. It's so we all might be free, Mom, he proclaimed with patriotic joy. I slowly walk into your room. I sat in our rocking chair. I sang your favorite lullaby. I could almost feel you there. Tonight, my child, I pray for you as you are off to battle. May God protect and guide you, my babe, with bear and rattle. Rock-a-bye, baby, on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bow bends, the cradle will fall. Angels, catch my patriot son, cradle and all.
How outstanding was that? Thank you very much again, Diana. Diana, can we give her another hand? What an amazing country. 240 years ago, a small group of people got tired of being denied their freedom and decided to rebel against at the time, one of the greatest powers on the face of the earth. This small group, by many, had no chance of being successful. As a matter of fact, allies that eventually came on board didn't want to acknowledge their allegiance because of the unlikelihood that this would be successful. And somehow, out of that, 240 years later, we're one of the most powerful, one of the most free-embracing, one of the most countries that everyone resorts to when they have problems in the world. And that's how resilient America is. And it's my pleasure to introduce an outstanding group of community leaders that will speak about this and other things as we celebrate this wonderful day, our 4th of July holiday. Starting off, I would like to take a moment to introduce Larry Metz as our state representative. He's going to come up and share a couple words with us.
Well, happy Independence Day, Grovland. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, for the invitation to participate today. I appreciate it very much. My name is Larry Metz, and I'm your state representative in District 32, which includes all of South Lake County. I just wanted to share with you a few thoughts that I've had as I've been sitting here and also before I came today. I was actually born in the Philadelphia area and went to Philadelphia public schools and got to go to Independence Hall during elementary school field trips, and so I was very familiar with the setting of our origin as a free country when I was growing up. And just last month I had an opportunity to go back to Philadelphia, was part of a group of legislators from around the country called the Assembly of State Legislatures. And this group met in Philadelphia for the purpose of reviewing proposed rules for an Article 5 convention under the Constitution. But because I was there for that, I got to go back to Independence Hall once again. It just made me think about the country, especially because that trip was just after the horrific attacks in Orlando. And what our founders gave us 240 years ago in that Declaration of Independence was our freedom. And the concept was very novel at the time, and it's lasting forever for us because the concept is that our freedoms come from the Creator, from God Himself. They're inalienable rights, and the government can't take those rights away. And that the only thing government does is that which individual people cannot do for themselves. Very novel concept, because in the previous years around the world, freedom came from the crown. The crown would grant you freedom, and you had to be subservient to that crown. And that's what our founding fathers were rebelling against. So as we celebrate Independence Day, we're celebrating our freedom. Now, 15 years ago, on September 11th, 2001, President Bush that day said that freedom itself was attacked that day, and he vowed that freedom will be defended. And that is the challenge we have going forward. It's not enough just to celebrate our freedom today. That is obviously part of Independence Day, a big part of it every year. But I think we have to recommit ourselves to our freedom, to defending our freedom, because we are under attack. Our freedom is being challenged around the world and even at home now in horrific ways. And we have to resolve ourselves that we're going to come together and continue to fight for freedom and never let our freedoms that have been granted to us by our Creator from being threatened or taken away by evildoers. So the message for me is both celebratory, that we have the freedom in the first place to assemble like this. Government doesn't have any say in what we say at this podium here, because we have freedom of speech. So many great freedoms in this country, which our founders acknowledged come from our Creator. We just have to also celebrate that, but also recommit ourselves to defending freedom, because we are being threatened and we are at war, in fact, with evildoers who would take away our freedoms if they could. So that's my message today, is that we have to recommit ourselves to the very freedoms that we are here to celebrate today. And I know we all know that intuitively, but it's just something that I've thought a lot about in the last month after everything that's happened, coming off that horrific news in Orlando, 49 of our fellow citizens being taken from us by the evildoer. and then being in Philadelphia that very week, seeing Independence Hall again and remembering the trips that I went there as a child. Our freedoms are cherished, and we want to make sure we never lose them. So thank you very much for the opportunity again, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate it very much, and God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Representative. Next, I'd like to ask Sean Parks, our Lake County Commissioner Chair, to share a couple words.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Good morning. Recently, I visited an assisted living center in Claremont, where I met an amazing 87-year-old man who served our country, and get this, on all 7 continents. While I was there visiting him, I looked at some pictures of him in his younger days and thought what it would be like to serve in our armed forces at that time, especially at that point in our history during World War II and the Korean War. I thought about how cool it was that he served us and represented us around the entire world, represented our values, our principles. So today I got a shocking news flash for you today. When the founding fathers of this nation said life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, they didn't just mean for happiness to be material wealth. The founding fathers didn't mean happiness to be a narcissistic pursuit of whatever makes us happy, like the expensive cars and the nice houses and the latest in pop culture, and all that's fine, but that's not what they meant. The founding fathers meant the pursuit of happiness to be the pursuit of virtue. And virtue, my friends, is what holds our republic together. Their happiness was achieved in the betterment of oneself and one's purpose, and in one's building of their family and of their community. And participating, and I emphasize participating in its community's well-being. Our nation's greatest veteran, George Washington, drives us home when he literally said this: happiness and moral duty are inseparably connected. All the veterans that are here today, could you just please raise your hand if you can hear me? Thank you very much. Thank you very much, absolutely. Let's give them a round of applause. Our veterans today represent these values. They absolutely represent these values and have served us perhaps all over the world, like that man I met a few weeks ago in Claremont. Our veterans today, they don't fight for Democrats, they don't fight for independents, they don't fight for Republicans, they fight for Americans and the values for which we stand. It is not the material wealth that raises the sword of our armed forces, but the protection of American virtue and our freedom to pursue happiness. And it is this happiness that builds our families up generation after generation and makes our local communities like Grovland and Lake County grow stronger. It's easy to say we honor veterans, but is this always true? It's important that we honor and thank every veteran we see for their service to our great nation. And if you see a veteran today, I encourage you to thank that veteran. Thank you for their sacrifice they made. But it is also important for us to honor our veterans and their sacrifices by remembering that amazing declaration made some 24 years ago today and what it really stands for. I pray that this declaration abides in our hearts and in our minds. I pray that our veterans are blessed and made to feel warmly welcomed. I pray that their physical wellness needs are met. Thank you, veterans, for giving me the opportunity to live in a country where I'm free to make myself a better man for my family and my community. And as President Abraham Lincoln once said, honor to the soldier and sailor everywhere who bravely bears his country's cause. Honor also to the citizen who cares for his brother in the field and serves, as best he can, the same cause. Thank you. Happy Independence Day. It's been an honor to be here. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Parks. As city manager, I get a chance to work very closely with the mayor of the city, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce our mayor, Tim Laux.
Thank you, Redmond. Redmond and I work together extremely close, almost on a daily basis, and I've got to say I've enjoyed working with him over the last couple of years. Redmond, and thank you for your dedication. Today, they asked me to talk about the significance of the 4th of July. I'm honored to speak with you on this hot but beautiful 4th of July morning. I'd like to start by saying we all need to stop and remember what the 4th of July is really all about. It can be summed up in a few words. Today is the day our country joins together as one to celebrate the 240th anniversary of America's independence. Today, it's a day our families throughout the country will gather to fly our flag, to watch fireworks, and to count the many blessings and freedoms we as Americans enjoy every day of our lives. It's about our freedom as Americans to be heard by our local, state, and federal governments without the fear of retribution or retaliation. It's about our freedoms as Americans to run for elected positions, to have a say on who we elect to office, and to voice our opinions freely. It's about remembering no people, however great in numbers or ever, can enjoy peace without first having freedom. It's about our freedom as Americans to take part in the decision-making process of our government. It's about realizing and understanding freedom is not free and without sacrifice. The 4th of July is also a time to step back, take stock, and pay tribute to the men and women in uniform who are defending our country from those who seek to spread tyranny, oppression across the world. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're facing a different kind of enemy. A new war against those who celebrate murder, incite suicide, and have insatiable thirst for absolute power. As you are aware, we no longer have borders to protect us from these men. That was recently shown as 51 people in Orlando fell victim to the murderous acts fueled by terrorism and fueled by radical religious beliefs. The terrorists will not be stopped by negotiation, concession, appeal to reason, or common sense. They seek to turn our country into a haven for their terrorist acts. We must bring our enemies to justice or bring justice to our enemies. In this war, there's only one option, one purpose, and one mission, and one unified cause for the American people. That is the total annihilation of those who attempt to trample on our safety and our freedoms. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the threats of the 21st century. Today, I ask that all citizens in Lake County and throughout America put aside their petty differences, their sense of entitlement, and once again unite for the common good of our people by protecting our way of life and the freedoms for our current and future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, as never before, we must stand together as one purpose, one mission, and one unified cause, protecting our freedoms of this country and its people. We as Americans must never forget our country is one of the few in the world that can still celebrate its freedoms every day of the year. It's our duty as Americans to ensure that does not change. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this morning, and may God continue to bless the United States of America, Lake County, and its citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, as I stated before, as city manager, I not only get an opportunity to work with mayor, but I always get the opportunity to work closely with the city council. And I'd like to introduce Dina Sweat to come up and share a couple of remarks regarding the Orlando tragedy and share a moment of silence.
Is everyone hot enough? First, let me say thank you to all the veterans for keeping us free, and may God bless all of you. On June the 12th, 2016, a lone gunman killed 49 people, and injured 53 others inside the Pulse nightclub located in Orlando. This attack is the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history by a single gunman. Such a senseless act of violence by one person who had so much hate in his heart that he decided to take the lives of so many. Tonight, before the fireworks on this day of July 4th, 2016, Groveland City Council and 40 others will honor those killed in that shooting by releasing a sky lantern for each victim. Their ages ranged from 18 years of age to 49 years of age. May the releasing of these candles show the city of Orlando that Groveland is Orlando strong, and we stand united with them against these crimes of hate. These lanterns will be released down by Lake David at 9 o'clock. So if everybody would like to come down and watch these sky lanterns go up, it would be greatly appreciated. And may God bless all of you.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to enjoy these opening remarks with us. We're a little bit beyond our schedule, but I wanted to thank you for giving us a little grace during this time. We got off to a little bit of a rocky start, but I wanted to take a couple moments to share some remarks about our first responders. I think it's not a coincidence if you just think a moment that many of our military personnel joins the ranks of our first responders when they are finished with their service commitments. I think it's an example that sets our first responders that they're essentially the spirit of our country. If you think about it, 9/11, I don't think it was a coincidence that the planners of that dastardly deed synchronized the planes crashing into the buildings the way they did, because I believe they wanted to strike at our spirit, which is our first responders. I have the opportunity of working with two very great men that represent men and women of our police department and our fire department, Chief Melvin Tennyson and Chief Willie Morgan. They set the example of that spirit. And just for a moment, I would like to thank both of them for the example they set, and join you as we give a moment of applause for our men and women in uniform, both police and fire. Thank you. And again, thank you for your patience. We're going to have our mayor come up and give us some closing remarks, and then we're going to enjoy this day. Thank you very much.
We've got one last speaker that I think Mr. Jones missed. We've got Mr. George Rosario from VFW, District 18, Judge Advocate. Mr. Rosario, would you come?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate you announcing me. Mr. Jones, thank you for your kind words. Everyone sitting here, thank you for your words and your wisdom regarding the Orlando incident. Let me just say, gracias a Grovland. Gracias all the veterans of Grovland. Thank you to the veterans of Grovland, and welcome home. When you see a vet, say hi to them. It means a lot to them. We walk around sometimes and we wonder what's going through their mind. There's a lot of things going through veterans' minds, especially those that are coming back home from these wars. We are living in a dangerous time. If you see something, say something. So I just want to say, let's all enjoy ourselves here, because this comes with a sacrifice from all men and women in uniform. I want to send God bless America and God bless Grovland. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Ladies and gentlemen, in closing, thank you for joining us again. I know it's awful hot. I want to make sure everybody drinks plenty of water and watches the heat, because it'll catch up with the equipment. In addition, I'd like to thank our color guard, our Sonny for our invocation, Miss Diane Garvis for her beautiful rendition of God Bless America and her heartfelt poem, My Patriot Son. Wonderful. A special thanks to Commissioner Sean Parks and Representative Larry Metz. Mr. George Rosario, Judge Advocate for VFW District 18, Ms. Dina Sweat, our council person for Grovland, for District 3. Mr. Jones, thank you for officiating. I know you hadn't planned on doing that, but you did a great job. You really did. We had to change our schedule a little bit at the last. Please give our city manager a hand. Thank you. Thank you. With that, I'm going to give you just a quick rundown of today's events. There's agendas available, I imagine, throughout the area, because I don't expect anybody to remember this, but we've got the vintage car show featuring over 100 classic cars from decades ago. We've got a kids zone, Supreme Party Machine video game truck, hula hoop contest, water balloon toss, and more. That'll last all day. 9:45, actually we'll run a little bit late. It'll be the South Lake Jazz Combo on the main stage. After that, during that, we'll have the Firecracker Pageant, the Most Patriot Dress Contest. We have the Cathedral of Power Gospel on the main stage. We have the Funky Favorites in the Fabulous 50s. That'll be in our Per Year Mill building. We have the Central Florida Idol here on the main stage, and Lee Alcorn here on the main stage. At 5 o'clock, we have Mr. John Griffin presenting this Seminole Indian Black History presentation in the Per Year building. A watermelon contest, which I've signed Council Member Michael Rasnick up for. Michael, you out there? He is out there. He doesn't know that yet, but he did get signed up for it. And we've got a domino tournament from 5 to 6, and then from 6 to 8:15, we have Groove Therapy here on the main stage. Ms. Sweat will be releasing sky candles at 9 o'clock in honor of the shooting victims. At 9:15 are fireworks. And again, let me reiterate, folks, please drink plenty of water and watch the heat if you plan to be out here all day. It's going to be horribly hot, and we don't want any accidents to happen. Again, thank everyone for coming out this morning. God bless.